Uh-oh. It's on. Hey, y'all. Dang. Yay, we're live. Yes, we are. Hold on. If I could just. Wait, what? I've actually never been on YouTube Live before, so I am trying to connect it to my webcam. I'm not really sure what's going on. Yeah, they're so different, and it's like not even. Hey, and it's like, okay, hold on. I just need to change to the webcam so y'all could see me. But I also don't want to mess up and like end the stream or something. Share screen. Let's pop out the dashboard. Let's just see. No. That's not working. The features are so different. Okay, what if I hit edit? Okay. Okay, I said webcam. Maybe which webcam am I using? Bruh. What about the customization? Hey, what is going on? I literally just, oh, okay. So all controls. I literally don't understand. Hey y'all, I'm trying to figure out why. Hey, I'm trying to figure out. Can y'all hear me? Ooh. Okay. This kind of is getting on my nerves. It said go to create and then hit webcam. Okay, let's create and then go live with a webcam. No, it's giving me, wait, ooh, manage. Maybe it will give me the option. Oh, this is so stupid. No, 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 no. Okay. All right. This really makes me not happy. Hold on. Anyways, this doesn't make me happy at all. Okay. But I mean, y'all can hear me though. So we can talk this way. Is my camera on? It's on. Right? Ciao. I literally, why don't I have access to the webcam feature? This is so stupid. Yeah, I see a gray screen too. Third class today. What other classes are you taking? That sounds awesome. I really want to talk to y'all though. This is getting on my nerves. I mean, I can talk to y'all. Y'all know what I mean. What if I can go live in Patreon, I think, as well. Actually, I just want to be live over here because it like helps me get my watch hours, and I don't want to be vulnerable to like a whole other platform. You know what I mean? Okay. Guys, I'm sad. What classes have you taught today? And what classes are you taking? Ooh, emergency medical care. That has been a dope class. I'm in that one too. Yeah, I'm in that one too. Okay, y'all. I'm not really sure what to do. So I'm just gonna keep on going. And I'm just gonna keep on going and we can just do audio for now. That like really, really sucks though. Like that is not the plan. Like my webcam's plugged up. Everything is fine. Wait, is it? My webcam plugged up? As it should be. But that's the thing. Even if my webcam wasn't plugged up, my computer webcam should still be on. So that's the crazy part. Boo. Like, I'm not really sure. I don't want to end the stream. I don't want to do that. How y'all doing? I can't get TikTok in my country. Yeah, see, like that's the thing. TikTok is real finicky. Everybody might not be able to have that. And that's why I try to be on Patreon and YouTube as much as possible. I literally it is bothering me so hard that I can't see y'all. I'm doing good. I had a great day. I'm really sleepy, but that's because I was up all night and I shouldn't have been. And by all night, I mean like maybe 2 o'clock. I I ain't gonna lie, I was playing video games. I was playing video games, and that's just kind of it be like that sometimes. And why do I not have access to the webcam feature? This is crazy. I bet you're ADHD. I was playing video games. Y'all, okay, what had happened was, and if you know, you know, I just downloaded The Legend of Zelda, and so I'm playing Breath of the Wild right now. Y'all, I've had the game for maybe 3 weeks, and I'm at like 70 hours of gameplay. Like what? Like y'all, it's really it's. Hmm. Am I live somewhere else? I don't mean to be. I don't have like a Google meeting or anything open. I shouldn't. It is just grinding my gears that I don't have access to y'all right now, like your whole faces. Anyway, oh, Breath of the Wild traumatized me. Man, okay, so I got caught up in like the cozy game phenomenon, and so everyone was like, "Oh, play Legends of Zelda. That's like a cozy game." And I don't know. I don't know if I would. I mean, okay, if you play with the goal of just avoiding all the fighting and avoiding all the monsters, it is, because there's some places in the game, like the little fairy fountains and the villages, not cozy, the fairy fountains and the villages, and just certain parts of the woods where you just kind of collect mushrooms. If you just do that and run from all the monsters, um, then it's fine. Yeah, okay. When the skeletons at night, when those things popped up, I lost it. Like I truly lost it. The open world is cozy, yes. So it's like if you depart from the storyline and decide you just want to do something else, then you can. Yeah. All right. The monsters when they first popped out at night, when I was walking through the woods and the rock started moving, like what the hell, like I couldn't mm, mm. Maybe I can unplug and plug the web. This is going to bother me to no end. It's totally fine. No, it's totally fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But let's go ahead and it ain't gonna change for tonight. Let's go ahead and move into. I'm gonna go ahead and share the link in Patreon. If I can go live in Patreon, can you go live in Patreon? Yes, you can. Oh, but it's the same thing. The same thing. I don't think they don't host video. Yeah, so it would be the same thing. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and post a link in Patreon so I can make sure everybody can have it and then have this fixed for Sunday. So what did y'all think of the video that we watched for class? Because that's one that I really do like to assign. Well, first off, okay, comments or questions about just anything about the class so far, comments or questions about the intro video, about about this week's lesson, or about this week's like assigned things. And I will post the YouTube link in Patreon right now. Today, YouTube live link. Hey, cool kids. We're live. And paid members only. And then I have to make sure all members publish. Okay. All right, so publish a link. The link is post is live and ready to share. And then let me share it in the chat too, actually. Keep commenting. I will be back in just a second. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, chats. Oh, y'all shared the link. Thank you. Oh, it's so awesome. Okay. She does, and she shares the link, and we can watch on YouTube. I don't see the link. Did it not post on Patreon? It should be in the discussion in the chat, and it should be in. I just made a post about it. All right, just breathe and do what you can do. It's totally fine. Yeah, it's listed. And I will post it again. Next. And all members, safe. Oh, I'm live over there too. Like y'all could. Oh, that is so dope. Oh my goodness, that is so good. That is so good. I really try when I think about like user experience a lot, and I really like the fact that Patreon gives me so many options, and you don't really have to leave the app for a whole lot once you're there. So I can make audio, video, and host that all on Patreon, and I can have like the community features, so like the chats and the comments and stuff like that. I don't have to leave Patreon for that. And YouTube is something similar, but you know, it's open to the trolls. Y'all, speaking of, I didn't know that the trolls on YouTube was on that type of time. Like some of the comments that I get, absolutely nuts. Like I don't, it is y'all. I mean, I got a comment on one of my videos from someone who genuinely believed that like slavery was a good thing for the United States and was like, hey, it's just a different perspective. I'm like, what? Who are you people? Like, I don't, y'all, it is so odd. It is the oddest thing. Like, child, the YouTube comments are something else. So I guess for like trolls, hi. So the troll, I would rate the troll comments. YouTube, number one. Number one. The comments that I get on YouTube are nuts. Like y'all, absolute bonkers, just bonkers. Then Twitter, aka X. They weren't as bad before Elon took over. And once he took over and said, hey, y'all can say slurs again, it was just hell in a handbasket. So then that Facebook is next, and then probably Instagram, and then TikTok's moderation is pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a lawless place. It's a lawless place. It is. It is. It is a place of absolute debauchery. It is the bad place. It is absolutely an alt-right pipeline. Absolutely. Anyway, if you're joining us just now, um, oh, X is the worst place. Like it is truly it is like if hell had an internet connection, the only thing that would be accessible is like the alt-right podcast, and X would be the social media app. Yeah, don't make it. There's one now called Blue Sky that's really, really good. It's really, really sweet. I like it. It's nice over there. Hey y'all, if y'all are just joining us, I have no idea why y'all can't see me. It's kind of whack and it's bothering me to no end, but y'all can hear me. So it'll be fine. It's fine. Right? It'll be fine. Just whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. So tell me how we're feeling about class this week. Tell me how you're feeling about the recorded lesson. Tell me how you're feeling about the video. Why does the government care about race? Any questions before I go into any type of spiels that I have? I always want to know what my community thinks about the things that we're learning together. And this could be absolutely anything. Like this is a yes. Yes. So I thought about whether or not I was going to um post the lives, but I will. Yeah, I will. For now, the class recordings are just for y'all. That's just for Patreon. The class recordings, when I say class recordings, the Tuesday classes. So the Tuesday classes that I have y'all watch or listen to, that's just for y'all. Only the Patreon people get that. And then the YouTube lives, like our Thursday and Sunday lives, those will be posted after we're done. Yeah, okay. So people think about data points in history, study the multiverse, you're speaking my language. Absolutely, because I really think that there's many problems with the way history is taught, especially in the US. If you're not in the US, please tell us something different about how it works where you live, because history is very odd. Like, schools are regulated, but the subject matter isn't. So, like, I like to remind people that all the school buses are yellow, but all the textbooks look different, because kids are being exposed on like the micro level to completely different things. And it's really easy to forget, at least for me, that everybody didn't learn the way I did, and everybody's textbooks didn't look the way that mine did. But what the textbooks have in common is that they're missing a lot of stuff. Is that they are missing a lot of stuff. And because of the way you have to teach in the US to kind of like, the answer is either right or wrong, they need to teach, they need to be able to pass a test and these types of things, it's like you don't really have an opportunity to dive deep. And then when you get to college, any college level, community college, 4-year college, grad school, is so like after that first year and a half of core classes, it's pretty streamlined. You're on the engineering track, you're on the med school track, you're on the business track, and it's not really a whole lot of wiggle room. And then even if there was, you would have to know that that's a possibility for you. Like, I wanted to take a class. My second degree is in African American studies, but I wanted to take a class called Islamic literature. And it wasn't in my like course book. And so I had to go and say, hey, what do I need to do to take this class? But some people aren't going to do that. They're just going to be like, well, it's not listed on my course handbook. I guess I can't take it. No, but you can go to the dean and you can have them fill out a form and all of that. You know, you can do that, but a lot of people just don't know that you can. And so you end up having a lot of pieces of history that are just missing. That are just missing. My son is in the army and he's in Germany and they're disgusted about what's going on over here and they're protesting. Good. I just feel like if Germany's disgusted, everybody need to pay attention. Like, I feel like they would know what fascism is. They would know. Is used to aid in the school to prison pipeline. Ooh, Yvette, say more about that. Logbook Titian, hi. You in class. We do not need more uniformity and depth, but I also don't want to do Common Core. Whoo, that Common Core is crazy. Oh my God. It's like they went from one extreme to another. Yeah, some people can't afford to do that. Some people can't afford to do that. The only thing that I was taught in college was that the census was for funding, and that's it. Oh, no. The census. The census is an old, as we watched in the video, the census is an old slavery concept. Because you need to count the people in America so that you can decide which people in America don't count. One more time. You have to count the number of people in America so that you can decide which people don't count. And the reason why we're having conversations about where the census, about the roots of the census and if it should still be used and if it should still include certain questions is because of that. It's like, y'all, they needed to count people so that they can decide who counted as a person. And when you think of it that way, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, especially when you fill out the census and you look at the information that they're gathering. So the census happens every 10 years. I filled out 2 of them, I think. I'm 33. No, I've only filled out 1. I've only filled out 1 as an adult. I'm 33. Oh, we got a whole bunch of comments. Yes. Yeah, the baseline is real. It's like the baseline of education is so whack. It's like it's like there is no baseline. There is no baseline. And just a side quest, what Donald Trump is trying to do to the Department of Education is really frightening to me as a teacher and the teaching of American history. It's very terrifying. I was born in 91. It's very, very terrifying. The reasons they paint lines on the floors in schools is to train the urban schools. Yes. I remember being told to as a little kid to, stay on the silver line when I was walking, to stay on. We had to make sure that we were like in a single file line and all that stuff. And I remember one of my friends told my teacher, I was in like the 4th grade, Miss King, no, this was Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson, we look like we in jail. And she made us, and then from that day on, she said that we didn't have to walk on the silver line. That as long as we was like kind of sort of in a line, it was fine. Yeah, his policies are very, the people are counted to decide which people don't count. Because what's really frightening is that, okay, because we just gonna go all around the world today, it's fine. Conservatives have really crafted this narrative that any type of regulation is bad. That the government can't tell you what to do. And it's not about racism. It's not about sexism. It's not because we have supervillain tendencies and we only want white men to succeed. It's that we don't want the government telling you what to do, but they want to tell you women what to do with their body. Anyway, whatever. We're going to talk about contradictions too in this class, but I think it's really interesting to challenge that master narrative. And what history also does is it allows you to challenge master narratives. It allows you to challenge the master narrative of what has been created. A book that we're also going to spend a lot of time in is Jason Stanley's How Fascism Works. And there's a link in the course materials directly to a PDF of that book. And I think what he lays out so clearly how fascism and how the current administration, how the Trump administration specifically is using their power to deny history and create a different master narrative of what's going on. And one of the ways they do that is by going, actually, it's about we don't want too much government regulation. And that's why we hate the Department of Education. And I think somebody asked why a lot of people aren't more concerned. And I think the reason why a lot of people aren't more concerned is because part of the reason why it's so dangerous to not know history is because when you don't know history, you don't have any context for the present. You don't have any context for the present. So drop in the comments what your, I love music, hi, what your big, and it's always something tragic, I hate that, but what was the big moment when you were growing up, right? So for us, the big moments were Barack Obama's election, 9/11, and probably OJ, right? As far as like a big trial, like OJ, 9/11, and then Barack Obama's presidency, right? For the generation right behind me, it's probably the Challenger explosion, right? For the generation behind that, it's probably like Kennedy's assassination, or somebody said the space shuttle. Yeah, so it would probably be like Kennedy's assassination, or like big moments that really defined that generation and that era. The fall of the wall. Yeah, like these are. If you don't know the history, you will have no Apollo 13. Yes, you will have no context for this. You'll have no context for the present. And that's why people, when they hear things like deregulate the government and defund the Department of Education, because they don't have the history that they need, they don't understand why that's so concerning. Because they've always, oh, Katrina, oh yeah, that's one. Yeah, I would tell my students when I was teaching college that you really can't talk about history no more without talking about particularly Black history, recent Black history, without talking about 9/11, Obama's election, and Hurricane Katrina. Right, gay marriage legal. So let's take that, right? So let's take that. There's a lot of historical context that people don't have for the legalization of gay marriage. So that's a very recent thing. Before 2013, gay people could not get married. And if you're any younger than me, so if you're 30 and below, you might not remember a time where gay people could not get married. And because you don't remember that time, you assume that it was always there. But it wasn't. That's actually a very recent development. Oh, Matthew Shepard, absolutely. That's a very recent development. AIDS and the crack era, right? That's a very recent development in not just American history, but in human rights. That's a very recent development in human rights. And so if you don't have the context for that, when you hear Trump say stuff like, we need to get back to the family, we need to get back to the nuclear family, you don't know how scared you should be. You don't know how afraid you should be of that, because we know, because we remember a time when people was arguing about gay marriage in Congress and things, that those were the words that they were saying. That those were the words that they were saying, that they were saying words like, this is going to destroy the family. This is going to damage the nuclear family. This being gay people having the right to get married. You know what I mean? Like, so because you don't have the historical context for the legalization of gay marriage, you don't understand how scared you should be when you look at Project 2025 and you see the nuclear family and we're going to focus on the family. And in fact, it sounds like it makes sense. Like, yeah, focus. We need to get back to the nuclear family. And then rational people might say stuff like, yeah, we need to be able to afford groceries. Right? That's what rational people mean when we say, hey, we need to improve the lives of American families. We're like, yeah, make groceries cheaper, make rent cheaper, create more jobs. Yeah. But irrational people are going to take you going, yeah, we agree with that, and be like, and you want to know what's really ruining the family? The gays. It's like, what? Wait a minute. That's not what we said. That's very interesting, right? In Thailand, just got the right for gay marriage, just got the right. Globally, this right has been overlooked. It's been overlooked. It's definitely been overlooked. And because you don't know that history of not having it, you don't realize how quickly that right could be snatched away. Yes, this isn't a given, so it's easy to sway people against it. And so another reason why studying history is important is so that you can have context, so that you can know when to be a little concerned with the stuff that's being said. With the stuff that's being said. Yes, you have to look at the surface, beyond the surface level. And if you don't really have a good grasp of history, it's hard to do that because you don't even know what you're looking for. Right? You don't even really know what to Google, right? You don't even know. It's like you don't even know. You might end up down some type of conservative rabbit hole if you just Google the words, is gay marriage good? Right? You probably gonna end up in like a conservative rabbit hole. But if you looked up historical timeline of gay rights, you're probably going to find something different. You're probably going to find something different. Right. It's a gauge of how far they can go. Truly it is. It's a gauge of how far they can go. Civil rights affect all of us. Civil rights affect all of us. Civil rights affect all of us. They do. Which, while we were having the conversation about the census, I don't know if you remember in the video that we watched, they talked about just a tiny bit about how the census went from like 6 questions to like 40 questions back down to 10. And a lot of people don't think that the census would be something that would end up affecting the outcome of everybody, right? But think about how women are affected. How women are affected when you count how many married women are in a certain area. You're mentally stuck in the past. Single hair Jews. Really. But like when we can seriously think. We can y'all got me crying. sorry. Okay. The way it does affect all of us, right? It absolutely affects all of us. So when women fill out the census, when women would fill out the census and would mark that they were married, when women would fill out the census and would mark that they were unmarried, like what kind of demographic information does that collect and does that create? And so you end up having a bunch of data points. And what do you end up doing with those data points? Particularly if they end up in like the wrong hands, in like supervillain hands, right? Right, where to defund. You might end up saying, okay, we know exactly where to defund it. If you end up looking at that data and saying, oh, we have a lot of white married women living in this area. So, should we keep or close the Planned Parenthood? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the, like, do we want to like trap women into having babies that they can't afford or don't really want? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are the types of manipulations you can do when you have that kind of data? Less money for schools, exactly. Less money for city workers. I keep learning more and more about his. Yes. Fewer options for childcare. Exactly. Less money for infrastructure. And so then, for example, you might see in the news that there's a lot of crime in the town across the way. And you might go, dang, what's so much crime over there? So much crime over there? And then your friend might be like, yeah, don't go over there. It's all the too many damn criminals over there. And it's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. People are taking that data and using it to manipulate a certain area. And then using that narrative that they created against those very same people. Under attack since they let all the athletics coaches teach history. Right. Businesses for you to target. Who gets fresh food, right? If you look at census data and look at the racial demographic of certain areas and then match that up with the data we have on food deserts, who's most likely to live in an area that doesn't have a grocery store near them? Oh yeah. My dad, he was a history major. Oh yeah, you end up finding. You know what? You're absolutely right. The truthful tutor, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Kids getting scurvy. I live in Georgia. I don't know if it was a child, but we had our first case of measles, tanking the real estate market. Yes, I remember the cigarette billboards. Yeah, the Newport cigarette billboards. Uh-huh. Whew, you unlocked a memory there, Tracy. Yes. Yeah, it wasn't billboards. That something else that my white friends, I realized they didn't have when I was in grad school, and I like all of a sudden I had a bunch of white friends. Like, what? Um some people's schools didn't have police. Like, some people's schools just didn't have cops. And I was very surprised by that. And they were very surprised at the fact that my school did have cops. Right. Just one example of the disparities. Because when you have a bunch of data, you can actually use that data to craft a narrative and to market to certain groups of people. to sell certain groups of people certain things. What happened with the chemical plant explosion? Oh yeah, that's right. So if y'all don't know, I live in the city where there was a large chemical fire late last year, a very large chemical fire. The chemical plant was a place where they make pool shock, like stuff to clean pools with, and there was a fire at that plant, and it released all kinds of noxious chlorine gas into the air. It smelled like a pool for like 2 months. So we're in the process right now of getting that plant completely shut down. Like, we want Biolab out of our city. We want it out of our town. Don't even bother rebuilding. Like, I'm going to meetings, signing petitions, like all that stuff. Like, don't even rebuild. Don't even worry about it. And yes, people are in the, process of doing like lawsuits and trying to get compensated and stuff like that. That's the update. I should update my larger audience about that. TB? I'm sorry, as in tuberculosis? Excuse me? If y'all could see my face right now, 70. Y'all, if y'all hear me yell, I'm finna tell my mama right now. Y'all, I'm on YouTube Live, and my students in Kansas told me that tuberculosis is in Kansas. What? It's 70. Yes, like the 1920s disease from the American Girl books. Tuberculosis. Oh my God. What? I just yelled at I'm sorry, I had to tell my family that like right now. Like, what? My little sister, everybody thinks little like she's like tiny. She's 25. But she was like from the 1920s. I said, yeah, girl. Like, it, y'all. You tell my mom everything. I did. I had to get up and tell her that. That is nuts. Historical context, like, and I could go on forever, literally making this exact same point about historical context. Because do people not know about tuberculosis and measles and polio and how that shit just ravaged whole communities? Like, I had an uncle who had polio, who had polio as a kid, and for the rest of his life, he literally walked with a cane. What? Okay. Tuberculosis. Let me get some water. Tuberculosis is nuts. That is the scariest thing I have ever heard. Yes, girl. TB. TB, mom. She gave me like tuberculosis. She just gave your mouth the words like tuberculosis. Yes, girl. Fire that can be put out. Yes. It could not be put out by water because there were water activated chemicals. Right. Like, do people not know the history of these things? Well, of course they don't. That's why we're all here. But it's like when you're missing a piece of the puzzle, there are so many things that just go in one ear and out the other. It's like my generation before COVID, we got sick with I don't want to say regular, but regular stuff. You would call it catch a cold. Kids have them little nasty, not diseases, little nasty infections, they germs, you know what I mean? They get pink eye and, you might have strep throat. But before COVID, we didn't live through anything like a measles outbreak, like a mumps outbreak, like whooping cough. You know what I mean? My mom had the whooping cough when she was a kid. But because we don't have a grasp on that knowledge and a grasp of the experience that comes with that knowledge, man, y'all walking around with no vaccinations. The American Girl books. That's my reference, the American Girl books. And we withdrew from the World Health Organization, the U.S. I personally feel like, you want to know what's hi. It just came on, you guys. It just came on. Oh my gosh. Hi, you guys. I'm so happy. Oh my God. This is so great. I can see y'all now. Oh, Lord, I'm so glad I didn't take my wig off. It's like, oh my goodness. Okay. I'm here. Fashionably late. Right. Hi, everyone. Tuberculosis was the password. God is good all the time. Hey, when I tell y'all I was pissed, like I was not happy. And I'm not really pissed often. You know what I mean? Like I'm like annoyed, but not on some like this is getting on my nerves. And that was getting on my nerves. Is my wig crooked? Oh my God. I didn't know it was crooked. It's a little bit crooked. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Okay. And you stayed patient. I did. Labs had a recall. Oh, yeah. I didn't want it. I mean, just to the side. Raisins, Lay's chips, so many things have had class 1 recall. Just the side part. That's all. Class 1 recalls are the most serious recalls. Like those are the recalls where they're like, don't put no notices, like throw it in the trash, don't even bring it back to the store for a refund, just throw it away. Yes, okay. And as someone who loves, you hear me, loves Lay's sour cream and onion chips, this like directly affects me. So they use some type of dehydrated milk for some process in making the chips, especially in making the flavor dust for the chips. And they used bad milk. They used bad milk to make the flavoring and the dust and for the chips. It literally said, as in like the recall notice, said that there are serious concerns that if you have an allergy to that type of ingredient or to bad milk specifically, like bad dairy, that you could have a potentially fatal allergic reaction. Yeah. So don't eat Lay's chips. Don't eat Lay's chips. No. Yeah, no, our family is a plain Lay's and a sour cream and onion Lay's family. And specifically, literally the ones that were in this last distribution. So literally, if you went to the store in like the last 2 weeks and picked up chips, throw them in the trash. Like literally, I will wait for you, go downstairs, throw them in the trash. Like they have to go in the garbage. And I know everybody's like, you know what? I thought, but no, for real, seriously, I tasted the sour cream and onion chips. Like, I went to the grocery store maybe 3, 4 days ago, and I opened the chips and I was like, these taste funny. And it wasn't the same. I was like, what? It doesn't taste the same. But I thought that I was just, crazy. I thought, it's like you go, it's just me, right? I had had like some, what did I have for dinner? Whatever I had. I might have like some barbecue or something. And I was like, maybe that's messing with the taste. Maybe that's messing with the taste. I literally said that when I ate those chips. Throw them away. Private, man, Lay's chips taking me out. Oh man, I'd get up to the pearly gates and they'd be like, okay, seriously. Man, don't eat them chips. Yeah, lots of industries are moving to privatization, and that is so sad to me because, again, rational people don't think like this, but really rich, irrational people seem to think that they can do whatever they want, and very little regulation is what they need to do whatever they want. And so they privatize things so that they can do whatever they want. Because what little regulation the government does have is too much. Too many rules. Can't have that. Can't have that. Can't have that. So, yes, make friends with your local farmers, with your local farmers markets. If you can get in real good with them, get a relationship going with them so that you can buy in bulk from them. The last time that Trump was in office, I was living in Kansas, and I had still a really good friend, but I had a really good friend who was a farmer, and he called me one day because I love a good green juice, green smoothie, a salad, or whatever. And he called me and he was like, I ain't got time for you. You could be eating right now. And the same thing I told y'all about the chips just now, he told me that about the iceberg lettuce. He was like, don't eat lettuce. Don't eat lettuce. And I know that's hard for you. I'll be over later. And he brought me like the biggest, prettiest bunches of like green and purple kale. And we were both in grad school at the time. And I was like, oh my God, just tell me what you need me to do. And I promise, like, you can just be my kale connect. And he was like, actually, do you want to edit this paper I'm writing? And I edited the papers that he was writing, and he was my kale connect. And that's just how I paid for the kale. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not in the Play Store. I should I be grateful. Yeah. Okay. So, and also, I'm not in Hillman Talk, like the Hillman Talk thing that came from Dr. Barlow's video, because and also there's no there's no, how come you not in it? It's literally because I didn't know that they were doing all that stuff. I didn't know that they was doing all that stuff, and by the time I found out there was like a Discord channel and that there was all of these other things, we were already up and rolling in Patreon. And I know that everybody likes to run their stuff different ways. I'm in the spreadsheet. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad I'm in the spreadsheet. I'm so glad I'm in the spreadsheet. Yeah, get me in. Get me on there, because I would love to really teach as many people as possible, honestly, with what I'm doing. Gardening. I'm taking the gardening. What other classes are y'all taking? I'm taking gardening 101. I'm taking, I would say I'm taking, but I'm lurking in the emergency medicine class. But I am taking one lady's class is called How to Afford Everything, and it's really good. The gardening lady, My twin sister, if y'all go on my TikTok, my twin sister is teaching a class called Whimsy 101. And I didn't know that she was doing it. She actually came in here while I was working on this lesson and handed me her syllabus. And oh my God, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm so proud of her. I didn't want to spam y'all with links, but probably tomorrow I'm going to drop the link to her class. She just releases a TikTok video and then puts it up on her Patreon every Wednesday. Government law, Spanish, metaphysics. Pilates, change management. Oh, those are good. Octavia Butler. Oh, that's so good. Self-centering. Shout out to Duolingo. Intro to the Resistance. Yes, yes, yes. I need to sign up for Duolingo. I really want to learn sign language though. Like that's my real like language interest. I would love to learn ASL. Yes. Parable of the Sower. Conscious Lee's teaching one. He's teaching Debate 101. And I know there's another one. I know there's another one I'm taking. I also just need to get back to basics and make an actual notebook, like with the tab dividers and everything. I would want to learn BASL. I would want to learn Black American Sign Language and then work my way back to ASL. Also, TikTok is not on the Play Store anymore. So you still cannot download the app for real. I'm teaching middle schoolers writing, but that's just what I do. It's not TikTok University. Interior design, investing money, legal advice. I know. I'm probably going to make a video of all the other classes that I'm taking. Is someone teaching Mandarin? I don't think so. You want to know what I want to see more of, though? I wonder if people are teaching trades. Like, I don't know if somebody could teach. The gardening is kind of a trade. Braiding 101. That's a really good one. Yeah, like welding, like HVAC. You know what I mean? I know they can't like certify anybody or anything. But like taking it back off a computer and going, okay, here are the parts. You know what I mean? Plumbing, yeah, like something like that. Just the basics of things. I know, of course, they can't like they officially probably have to certify people, but that would be nice. Ooh, the tax code. Teaching a tool safety. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It's a pew pew safety. Oh, I'm looking that one up. Yeah, don't comply in advance. Right. Which is another reason why I wanted to be over here. I wanted to be over here and on Patreon because TikTok is just so volatile. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people just don't have the app anymore now. And then even if the app still was accessible for everybody, it's still really shaking me up how they literally just cut our lights off like that. They were just like, please take your final purchases to the front. And like that was That was just it. Oh, ocean justice is incredible. That sounds incredible. Oh, things your dad didn't teach you. I love that guy. He's so sweet. TikTok through a laptop since last year. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Yes, and I think one of her students might post some of the discussion questions as well. Who posts Dr. Barlow's lecture info? It went right. They said bye, bye, and I'm so glad I uploaded that last video with the book database because I don't know what clicked in my brain. I don't know what, but I just said, wait. Everybody's assuming that it's going to be at 11:59, but what if it's not? And when I tell you, I ran to upload that video, and maybe 2 hours later, the app was down. Look, somebody said when the orange man found out about us teaching and learning, I went to bed that first night that all the classes was popping up, and I said, oh, that app finna be gone for real now. I said, that app finna be gone for real now. Absolutely. Just like they got mad. But I can't wait to tell y'all about what are some things that y'all are interested in learning about. Also, again, like I love learning about what y'all want to learn about. Let's do like maybe 15 more minutes maybe live. I try to do like I want these to be an hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'll probably do 1 hour for my lives on Thursdays. And then on Sundays, I'll do it's much more low key. You know what I mean? It's like a lo-fi study session. Can't have us learning too much, child. I'm taking a sewing class. I knew there was one that I was forgetting. Sewing. I'm taking sewing. 5:30. 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Woo, check the syllabus. Am I? Yeah, I think I said 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you so much for doing this. You're welcome. Oh my God, I'm taking a baking class. 4:30 Central. Yes. Oh, so many comments. Oh my God. About things in the South. I imagine history's more of a hot button shot. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm in PE. Your video made me start buying paper books again. Oh my gosh. Yes, please buy. Actually, hold please. Okay, just 2 seconds. All right. One, maybe. Okay. Okay. Only one. Just do one. Just maybe. Okay. Okay, Jamila, just do one. You can't just do one. This is truly good. I don't know. This is truly good. Okay. The Black Panther Party. Is that a blanket of a library behind you? It is. It absolutely is. Integration affected the Black community both positively and negatively. Oh yeah, y'all can absolutely get a private Patreon video of my bookshelf, a bookshelf tour. Y'all can get that absolutely. Mm-hmm. Black Wall Street. Did you know there were several Black Wall Streets? Several free Black towns actually. That I can't wait to teach y'all about. Is that a blanket of a library behind me? Yes, it is. Usually there's like one of the how else to just explain it, but like one of them basic bitch like giant like mandalas are there, but on the wall. But for Christmas, I wanted the theme to be like, I want to be in a library in the woods. And so my Christmas tree was right there where that camera thing is. And then I bought a like library in the woods thing for my wall. So I just have to put the other one back up. Black women in the civil rights movement. You can't open any in the syllabus. Any links? I'm gonna go back through there and check the links. Is anybody else having a problem with the Google links? Yes, y'all can absolutely get a tour of my bookshelves. I'd also like to know how integration affected the Black community, both positive and negative. Ooh-wee. Because one of the biggest criticisms, mental feasts. What's a mental feast? I feel like I've heard about that on TikTok. Okay, I'm gonna go through and just make sure it's nothing on my end. Yeah, so for historians, particularly people who study Black history, one of the biggest criticisms, of course, that comes from integration, right, is that the way that the United States determined what integration would be for Black people. So one of the examples that I use the most is of the Negro Leagues. So the Black baseball league in America. And the Negro Leagues had teams all over the country. And it was like a very social thing for Black people to do. Like everybody's grandma or aunt loves baseball. That's why, right? Because the Negro Leagues became a social event for Black people to do. But after integration, what we now know as the MLB was trying to decide for Black people what integration would look like. And of course, because the white schools are better, right? Of course. Well, the white baseball league is better, right? So they just absorbed Black players and then the entire Black teams into the white baseball league. And so now we don't have a Negro leagues anymore. And that piece of how integration took place, and also the government backlash to integration, because a lot of the things that Donald Trump is rolling back right now is because the government knew that left to their own devices, white America would not just allow equal rights to be a thing, right? They knew they had to be legally forced to not discriminate against Black people, against women, against Mexican people, against Irish people, because that was a thing. Not in like the Irish were slaves kind of way, but it was a thing. But it was a thing. And a lot of the things, the measures, the ordinances, the executive orders and things that were put in place back then are being rolled back now for that same reason. Yeah. Was part of that league. That's amazing. Is my computer in? Where is the... Oh, I should plug my computer in, huh? You guys, I was so excited to get to y'all. This little thing just didn't... Okay. We good? All right, we're good. Italians. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. None of the links worked. Black Panther movement, Black women in the Black Panther Party, amazing. Smoketown. Oh, I'm going to look that up. I love new books. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of opinions about the process of integration and the effect that that ended up having on Black institutions that were then forced to compete with white institutions for students, compete with them for funding, to now compete with white institutions that had a 200-year head start, and so that's a complicated part of history that we don't talk about as much. And I think that when you study history, which is another reason why I signed the video, is you have to hold the complicated history of it. You have to hold the complicated history of it. And that's a lot. A lot of that is about accepting the complicated history, accepting the multiverse, that we live in a multiverse, and that there are some things that can be positive and negative at the same time, right? And there are some people who are going to take all of that information and go, well, this is why integration was not worth doing. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. All right, now that's a lot, right? Who will make this zero-sum argument, who will make a zero-sum argument based on the information that they have, right? And I think that that's not the point of studying history. That's not the point of learning history. The point of learning history is not to go, the census is good, the census is bad. It's about taking those pieces of information and drawing themes from those informations, and not like from those bits of information, and not like direct, irrefutable conclusions. You know what I mean? Oh yes, code switching. Crystal, okay, so you think the mafia doesn't have anything to do with Black history, but oh, it does. Oh, it does. Because, yes, the word is nuance. Yes, because I'm trying not to. I've been on here for an hour, 18 minutes already. I'm trying not to go, oh my God, yes, it does. But when you study the Black involvement in labor unions, right? Which is another thing. People take the Black history out of every other part of history that you learn. People, and also because class definitely matters. Also take out the class and labor struggle out of everything that we learn. So every movement in history has had a labor movement attached to it. Everything that you learn about in history. So just like, have you ever seen Forrest Gump? I saw Forrest Gump. It was like, the 90s cult classic of Tom Hanks. And how every historical event Forrest Gump was somehow involved. Every historical event, labor movements are there like Forrest Gump, like they're there in the background. They are there in the background. So labor movements, long story long, right? Long story short, labor movements were actually a big part of how certain organized crime figures were able to operate in America, because where would they get large sums of money that they can use to make investments, that they can use to build casinos, that they can use for whatever, to pay off whoever, right? To do whatever to launder money. Where would you get in, I don't know, 1920 to the 1950s, where 1960s even, where would you get a big pot of money like that? Union dues. Yeah. Union dues. So the Teamsters, right, and other big, large unions like that ended up being in entanglements with a lot of organized crime. And what does that have to do with Black history? Well, a lot of labor unions ended up splitting over over the question of whether or not to allow Black people into their unions, right? And so then you had organized crime figures who were like, are they paying dues? Yeah, they're paying dues. Oh, okay, so then they should be let in like everybody else, like they money green, right? Like it doesn't matter. But then you had racists on the lower levels, right, who would say, no, we want to keep segregated unions. And then sometimes you would even have the flip side. You would have the organized crime figures that were racist, that were saying, no, you can't let Black people in this union. But then you had the people on the lower end that were saying, okay, but their money's still good and their votes actually give us a lot of, okay? And so then what union busters got to do is they would take all of that tension and use it to split the unions apart. They would use it to split the unions apart, right? Which then means that you had groups of Black people who were organizing labor rights alongside the larger labor organizing groups that the organized crime figures were a part of. Right? And why is that important? Yes. The Great Depression and how they moved in the neighborhood and get rid of some of it. Yes, 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 yes. And why is that important? Because I told you I'm trying not to take off. And why is the labor movement important? Because the Black labor movement ended up happening alongside the white labor movement. And why was that important? Because where did the civil rights movement get a lot of their training from? The Black labor activists who were working in the generation before them. So Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King, John Lewis, right? The larger names of the March on Washington, right? They took a lot of their direction and a lot of their mentorship and a lot of their ideas about boycotting and really squeezing the white establishment and pressuring the white establishment towards integration. They took a lot of that from labor unions from the generation before them, right? Particularly from a man named A. Philip Randolph. A. Philip Randolph organized Pullman porters. So on the train, there were the people, and these were jobs that were relegated, usually reserved for Black people. These were the people who put your bags on the train, you know what I mean? Like they took your tickets, those types of things, like an elevator operator, but for the train. And the Pullman porters were mostly Black men. And the Pullman porters also organized for labor rights, and they also boycotted, and they also went on strike, and they did these things. And then the bus boycotts in Albany, Georgia, and then in Montgomery, Alabama, took a lot of their strategies from the labor movements. So that's how it all works together. So you're like, this is not related to African American history, but it actually is. Yes. The mafia absolutely is related to Black history, and also there were Black mobsters. Yeah, y'all seen American Gangster? That's a real person. Yeah, the playbook really isn't new at all. Yeah, the playbook isn't new at all. One more thing, and I'm going to head out. The plane crash yesterday. I don't even have words for how tragic that is, especially as more details are coming out, and just deep condolences. And it's like I don't know. I don't have the words. I know so many words, but I don't have the words for that level of grief and tragedy, right? But what I do